done, and the numbers are starting to come in. It's got record-breaking ratings, the debate did, but the question is, did it also give Hillary a bump in the polls? Then we'll bring in our legal panel and discuss the latest allegations leveled against Chris Christie in the Bridgegate trial. We'll discuss whether or not the governor could be facing charges in light of the latest info coming out of the courtroom. And also, for the first time, Congress overrides one of President Obama's vetoes. It'll open the door for 9/11 families to sue the Saudis. We'll discuss the possible pitfalls that come out of that. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to RFL. I'm Richard French. Thank you so much for joining us this Wednesday evening. Well, tonight, we're getting our first real sense that the debate Monday night ended with a Hillary Clinton win. Most people believed it, well, the numbers are starting to back it up. Take a look at the bump in the polls here. It comes with just 40 days left till Election Day. And for more on that and the big developments in the race for the White House, we're going to bring in our senior political correspondent, Andrew Whitman. A little bit of everything here today, but clearly momentum off of Monday nights behind the Clinton campaign.
Yeah, Rich, and as you alluded to, we had some hints that from a CNN Snap poll and some others that Hillary Clinton won Monday night's debate. But we also saw a lot of internet polls showing a Trump win Monday, though those polls appear to have been skewed by Trump supporters padding the online vote. Today, more good news for Clinton. A Politico Morning Consult poll where voters say Hillary won the debate by an almost 2-to-1 margin, close to the numbers we got from CNN. But this poll also measured the debate's impact on the horse race. Clinton is now up by 3 in this poll after trailing by 1 on Sunday. Net result, a 4-point boost for Clinton thanks to the debate. Trump and Gary Johnson both sliding a bit in the debate's aftermath. Clinton also getting a boost on the endorsement front today. The Arizona Republic siding with Clinton, its first endorsement for a Democrat in the paper's history, which stretches back to 1890, saying Donald Trump is not conservative and not qualified to be president. The Republic joining the Dallas Morning News, which had not endorsed a Democrat since World War II, and the Cincinnati Enquirer, which hadn't picked a Democrat in nearly a century. Clinton also picking up the backing of former Republican Senator Mark Warner of Virginia. That's a state where Clinton leads and one where Trump may well need to win in order to win the White House. Rich?
Thanks a lot, Andrew. And meanwhile, Donald Trump's Miss Universe problem, it continues to escalate. Now, Clinton, you may remember on Monday night, she hammered Trump over his treatment of a former Miss Universe who he called Miss Piggy and Miss Housekeeping, that after she gained weight following the pageant. Now, this morning, President Obama even weighed in, accusing Trump of insulting women and adding that a man who focuses on a woman's weight and looks instead of her content and capabilities isn't somebody he wants in the Oval Office. Let me bring in our friend Dominic Carter. He joins us as well, as you know, political journalist and author. A lot to process here, but Dom, clearly Trump, where he was on defense for most of the night on Monday, on Tuesday, he went after the panel. Now, he said that the moderator wasn't fair. He said his mic wasn't working. He said that basically the thing was rigged against him. His surrogates from Rudy Giuliani and others said, well, maybe he won't show up for the last 2, or he's going to have to pre-approve the rest, or he should have gone after Hillary's husband for what Bill Clinton did in the White House, and even before that with extra marital issues. Now we're getting word that there could be a campaign shakeup because the kids don't like the new brain trust that was brought in to replace Lewandowski because it could be impacting the family's business. That's from John Harwood, hardly, a crackpot here, a veteran, a reporter who's hearing some inside scuttlebutt. There's damage control going on in Team Trump right now, and this is not the time with 40 days out to try and figure out what you're going to do.
Politics is all about timing. Who has the momentum at the right time? Trump is still bleeding from Monday night. It was a disaster. At the end of the day, when we look back post-election, we may conclude that was the night that the election turned and Trump completely lost the White House. It was really bad, Richard. And this is what he does. Something goes wrong, blame somebody else. It's never his fault.
And there seems to be a division within the Trump campaign as to whether or not he should have gone even further. He should have gone DEFCON 5. He should have gone after, the extramarital stuff of Bill Clinton. Reportedly, from the Ryans and the McConnells and all the rest of them, they're saying, don't you dare go there. Hillary's highest approval ratings ever or when people felt sympathy for her after what her husband did, with Lewinsky, even with the flower stuff. You go there, you're basically handing her the keys to the Oval Office. You're going to hurt other Republicans down ticket. He says, I'm sick of everybody telling me what to do. Apparently, we learned for debate prep, he was tired, he was unfocused, he didn't want to prep at all for the thing. He has to decide, I think at this point with 40 days out, what he really wants to do. Is he trying to win, or is he trying to be him and everyone else be damned? His way's not working.
He wants to win, but his way is not enough to actually pull it off. He's got to stop Richard with his method. His method is going to lead to a record disaster come election day for him, the way it's looking.
Interesting note from that report that you mentioned about the Trump kids. The source of their disagreement is that they think the direction of the campaign is hurting the Trump business. And that seems to be...
Think about that.
No,
right?
I mean,
that's the concern right now is the business when the father's 40 days out and he's still within 4 or 5 points.
But that's proven to be one of the tenets of his campaign, that he doesn't want to make his business suffer and he doesn't want his image to be hurt as a result of all of this.
I think that ship has sailed.
I think that it may have. And look, there has long been a split in the Trump campaign. The Kellyanne Conways, who have been trying to sort of tone him down a little bit, make him seem more presidential, which is why he came out in more measured terms in the first half hour of the debate on Monday night. But then, she's the angel on one shoulder, the devil on the other shoulder, Steve Bannon and others, saying you need to go harder at this. And that's the Trump that we saw in default mode during the second.
And let's do another little bit of inside baseball, guys, as to what else we learned. The leaks that about the dysfunction within the Trump campaign, that the candidate's not listening and that he needs to prep more and he needs message, that's coming from the campaign itself. Let's for anyone out there who says, oh, where's that coming from? Clearly, I don't know if it's coming from Conway directly, but other people, they know that it went badly on Monday night. We're not sure if Trump knows it went badly on Monday night or if he believes Matt Drudge or whatever else. They're trying to convince the candidate, you got a problem here. And more than that, you got to do something different before the second debate. You can't do this again. Just think about that. The campaign, to have to get through to the candidate, is having to use the media to convince him he's got a problem.
There was an interesting piece in the Times today, a guy who watched the debate with the sound off and tried to judge based on body language who won the debate. You can do the same thing with the reaction from the campaign itself, and the leaks that we're getting and the reaction from inside the Trump campaign indicates that they know this was a bad debate, potentially fatal, as Dominic indicated. The attacks on the Miss Universe hitting the Latina communities and women voters across the country. There may be indications inside the Trump campaign that we don't know about that they think he did even worse than the numbers that we gave you before reflect.
Today on the trail, we saw Michelle Obama stumping for Hillary Clinton. And Barack Obama, the president himself, even referenced some of the issues. Michelle Obama was very clear. She didn't say him by name, but she said, they've been trying to delegitimize my president, our president, my husband from the beginning, his name, where he came from, and all the rest. And Barack Obama says, clearly, my agenda's at stake here. They're going to go out, and their principal mission, Dominic, that's to energize the base, right?
Their principal mission, to be more specific, to energize the black base. If Hillary Clinton loses this election, it's because African Americans were not feeling her and didn't turn out.
And there was some troubling news that came out of Florida when they were looking at African American voters in Florida. It's not that they're not going to, if they're going to vote, they're not going to vote for Hillary 95-5 or something like that, even more than that. It's that their level of passion comparable to 4 and 8 years ago is negligible.
It's not there. I mean, anybody can tell you that. But Richard, so that's what the First Lady and the President are working on, and their track record is pretty strong in terms of energizing the base. But what I don't understand with Mr. Trump, the Miss Universe thing, because the Clintons the campaign clearly set him up. They timed it out perfectly.
Well, it's a debate, as you said last night,
right,
every time.
Towards the end of the debate. And I don't know what's on his mind, but he speaks as a businessman, and he thinks that he's justifying what he's saying.
But the worst part is the next day on Fox and
That's
Friends,
what I mean. That's what I mean.
The most sympathetic landscape
exactly
you're
what
going to
I mean.
find if you're Trump. He took what they said and he doubled and tripled down on what he didn't have to.
Because he's talking like a businessman, but not like a regular person.
Now, speaking of surrogates, you also had out in the trail Hillary and Bernie Sanders the first time together out there. Is that enough for the millennials? Is that enough for folks who might consider Stein or maybe even Gary Johnson? What do you think at the end of the day he and to a certain degree the junior senator from Massachusetts can really do here?
I mean, it sounds odd that Bernie Sanders, a 70-plus-year-old senator, can infuse the youth vote, but that's exactly what his core group of support for during the primaries was.
What do you think they have to hear to be motivated to get out?
I think they need to see from Bernie Sanders the ringing endorsement and that she is going to be sympathetic to our policies that we fought for and we campaigned for. And that was the case that he was trying to make today. It's no surprise that we have Michelle Obama, Bernie Sanders, and Barack Obama all campaigning for Hillary Clinton on the same day. I think there's a sense in Brooklyn that they may smell blood in the water, and that they're trying to circle in and finish this guy off.
But they shouldn't project, at least from my eyes, too much overconfidence. 40 days, it doesn't sound like a lot, but it's a lifetime, as we know, with 2 more presidential debates and a VP debate as well. Guys, thank you very much. All right. First prosecutor said that Chris Christie knew about Bridgegate. Now a key witness takes the stand and says the New Jersey governor not only knew about the lane closures, even thought it was funny. Will there be enough evidence to charge the chief executive of New Jersey? Our legal panel will weigh in with the answer.